Are you
Yeah,
ready?
Alderman Reed. I'm ready.
Okay. Calling this meeting of the COVID-19 committee to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Davis,
Present.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Present.
Alderwoman Hubbard, Alderwoman Gracia,
Present.
Alderwoman Murphy,
Here.
Alderman Coder,
Here.
Alderman Muhammad, Alderman Oldenburg,
Here.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Here.
Alderwoman Middleton, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, President Reed,
Here.
Alderwoman Hubbard, Alderman Muhammad, Alderwoman Middlebrook, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Here.
9 present, you have quorum.
Quorum being present, we are going to dispense with line item 3. I'll entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
So moved.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 6th. Entertain a second on that motion.
Second.
I think that was Coder and someone else. Alderman from the 7th. And any discussion on the approval of the minutes? No discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Board bills for review. We have one item, board bill number 49. I'll entertain a motion for approval of board bill 49 to get it in front of us.
I move that we put board bill 49 in front of us.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 13th. Seconded by the Alderwoman from the 27th. Alderman from the 10th, you're recognized on board bill number 49.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the committee. Before we proceed, a moment of, are we going to have to withdraw these previous ones we did, Louis, or is there, Mr. President?
Yes,
What's the procedure for this?
well, you can move to withdraw. You can move to withdraw the previous amendments if you'd like. But
was just looking for the most
these are going to be a word for word replacement. But to make it cleaner, let's withdraw amendments 1 through 6.
Could we do it all at one time, having voted on the prevailing side?
Well, there are a couple ways we could do it. We could just do.
Just looking for the most efficient.
Yeah, we can make a motion to remove them, or when you make the motion to approve these new amendments, you can say that amendment number 1 to replace the amendment number 1 made last week. You can do it that way.
All right. I'm just trying to get a procedure down and looking it up and talking to folks, just making sure we do it correctly.
Yeah. So let's just make it easier when you're introducing the first few amendments that are
Okay.
going to replace the amendments that were made at the
How about
last.
I would,
You're not going to make the motion, but
yes, if someone would like to do that, I would suggest maybe withdrawing our previous amendments. If someone would like to make a motion.
Yeah, Mr. President, having voted on the prevailing side, I move that we reconsider the votes by which amendments, I think 1 through 6 were previously passed.
Second.
been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Davis,
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderwoman Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Gracia,
Aye.
Alderwoman Murphy,
Aye.
Alderman Coder,
Aye.
Alderman Muhammad, Alderman Odenberg,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye.
10 I votes.
By vote, staying the motion of the Alderman from the 16th and move to reconsider the amendments that were passed in a previous meeting, amendments 1 through 6. Alderman from the 10th, you're now recognized to speak on your bill, and then we'll take up the amendments. If you have an amendment to introduce.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. Board Bill 49, which we're very familiar with. We have some amendments to add to that. And I believe we have them all in proper procedure currently. I will bring before you amendment number 1
All right.
to Board Bill 49.
All right. I'll entertain a motion on amendment number 1 from any member of the committee.
I'll make
Aye.
a motion that we, okay, somebody make a motion then?
I move that we adopt amendment number 1.
Been moved by the Alderman from the 7th. Entertain a second on that motion.
Second.
Seconded by the Alderman from the 23rd. Any discussion on amendment number 1? Alderman from the 10th, would you like to read the language of amendment number 1 into the record?
Certainly. Thank you, sir. To amend said Board Bill, page 5, line 7, as follows. Beginning on page 5, line 7, after the words expenditures previously incurred, we will be inserting the following words and figures. In addition to those positions and personnel expenses authorized in the table of organization and personnel pay schedule in annual operating plans for the fiscal years 2020 and 2021, the Director of the Department of Health and Hospitals hereby is authorized to employ 1 health service managers to position code 5682, grade 18M, according to the Civil Service Classification Plan and the Compensation Plan. 1 health services manager 1, position code 5681, grade 17M, according to the Civil Service Classification Plan and the Compensation Plan. And 4 public health educators, position code grade 15G, according to the Civil Service Classification Plan and the Compensation Plan. And the Director of the Department of Health and Hospitals is authorized to pay salaries and benefits for such employees in whole or in part from the CARES funds appropriated in this section.
Thank you. It's been moved by the Alderman from the 7th, seconded by the Alderman from the 23rd, that we adopt amendment number 1. Any further discussion on amendment number 1?
I have a question, Mr. President.
Alderwoman from the 6th, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a quick question. Out of the pools of money on Exhibit A, where is this money coming out of, and how much money do all of these positions make up? It looks like there's 6 of them.
Alderman from the 10th, would you like to take up that or invite?
Well, if we could, I'll refer to my helpers in the mayor's office with the financial.
Mr.
Mr.
Conway?
Conway, you're available?
Go to Exhibit A, and if you would look at the 4th line down, that will be in the line of $2,050,000. That also will include the per performance contact tracers.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, Alderwoman from the 27th, you had your hand up. Alderwoman from the 27th.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, my question, could I ask the sponsor a question, please?
Yes, Alderman from the 10th.
Yes, I will yield. Yes.
The question that I have, are these positions temporary, and if they're not, where would the funding come from after they if they're not temporary?
I
Once
believe,
that
my
money's
understanding is,
gone?
I believe these are to be funded by the CARES Act only. Anything further than that would require, finding money for them is my understanding. If I'm wrong, Mr. Conway, please correct me.
That is definitely correct. The contact tracers, we hope, are per performance. But we do know, the doctor does know from experience, and we will address it next budget year because we have the funds to make it through. The other position, the one thing we are lacking is communication representatives. We found in some of our communities, we needed more people to reach out faster to have helped slow the spread of COVID-19. The positions that, besides the contact tracers that he's asking for, 18 months from now.
And so then after that, those positions will be dissolved.
Well, we will have to come up with an alternative fund when we get out 18 months from now.
Okay, thank you. No more questions.
Any further questions? Any further questions? All right, no further questions. It's been moved by Alderman from the 7th, seconded by Alderman from the 23rd, that we adopt amendment number 1. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Now we're on amendment number 2.
Shall I proceed?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the committee. Amendment number 2 to Board Bill 49, which you should have before you. Page 5, line 9. Strike out the word thereon and insert in lieu thereof to read in words and figures as follows for expenditures authorized under this section.
All right. I entertain a motion for amendment number 2.
So moved.
I move.
Moved by
Second.
Alderman from the 6th, seconded by Alderman from the 7th. Any further discussion on amendment number 2? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
All right.
Amendment number 3.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the committee. Amendment number 3 to Board Bill 49. Beginning on page 5, line 17, after the words previously incurred, and insert the following words and figures. In addition to those positions and personnel expenses authorized in the table of organization and personnel pay schedule in the annual operating plans for the fiscal years 2020 and 2021, the Director of the Department of Human Services hereby is authorized to employ 1 Executive Assistant 2, position code 1629, grade 17M, according to the Civil Service Classification Plan, to be paid on a per performance basis. The Director of the Department of Human Services is authorized to pay salaries and benefits for such employee from the CARES funds appropriated in this section.
I entertain a motion on amendment number 3.
Mr. President, am I okay to ask a question?
Let's first get the amendment in front of us. I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by the Alderman from the 13th. Entertain a second.
Second.
Seconded by the, I think that was Alderman from the 16th. Alderman from the 6th, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just same quick question. What is the estimate of the cost of this position, and is it coming out of that same $2 million?
I will defer to Mr. Conway with the finance question.
No, it is not coming out of that. If you go further down the Exhibit A, you will see under the Department of DHS, you will see DHS administration cost of $252,000. And that's where that position will be paid. Those 2 positions will be paid.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further questions? Any further questions? Been moved by the Alderwoman from the 13th, seconded by the Alderman from the 16th, that we adopt amendment number 3. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Amendment number 4.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the committee. Amendment number 4 to Board Bill 49, beginning on page 5, line 18, strike out the word thereon and insert in lieu thereof to read the words figures as follows: for expenditures authorized under this section.
I'll entertain a motion on amendment number 4.
So moved.
Moved by the Alderman from the 6th. Entertain a second on that motion.
Second.
Seconded by the Alderman from the 27th. Any discussion? It's been moved by the Alderman from the 6th, seconded by the Alderman from the 27th, that we adopt amendment number 4. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
All right,
Number 5.
Amendment 5. We'll be beginning on page 8, line 3. After the word thereon, insert the following words and figures. In addition to those positions and personnel expenses authorized in the table of organization and personnel pay schedule in the annual operating plans for the fiscal years 2020 and 2021, the Director of the Department of Human Services hereby is authorized to employ 1 contract compliance officer, position code 1662, grade 14G, according to the Civil Service Classification Plan and the Compensation Plan, whose salary and benefits shall be paid from the ESG-CV funds appropriated in this section.
I'll entertain a motion on amendment number 5.
I'll make that motion.
So
Been
moved.
moved by the Alderman from the 23rd. and
Second.
Seconded by the Alderman from the 13th. Any discussion on amendment number 5? Alderman from the 6th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Same question with respect to pools of money and expected salaries and benefit compensation.
Mr. Conway?
Yes, and that is coming out of that $252,000. Those, the earlier position and this position are both coming out of the 252.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? It's been moved by the Alderman from the 23rd, seconded by the Alderman from the 13th, that we adopt amendment number 5. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Amendment number 6.
All right, Amendment 6 to Board Bill 49. Beginning line, program cost administration. On Exhibit A, we will strike out the number 1,840,586 and insert there in lieu thereof to read as follows: 1,084,059. 1,840,586 being replaced by 1,084,059.
I'll entertain a motion on amendment number 6.
So moved.
Moved by the Alderman from the 6th.
Second.
Seconded by the Alderman from the 13th. Any further discussion on amendment number 6? It's been moved by the Alderman from the 6th, seconded by the Alderman from the 13th, that we adopt amendment number 6. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Amendment number 7.
As earlier, I will defer to the Alderman from the 16th, as this is his amendment, sir.
Alderman from the 16th, you recognize on amendment number 7.
Certainly. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the committee. Amendment number 7 is page 7, line 17, beginning on page 17. I'm sorry, on page 7, line 17. It reads where the CDBG CV funds are to be allocated. Within the exhibit, there is a $5 million line item for affordable housing construction. As I was mentioning last week, in the spirit of us who are also some members on this committee, who are members on Ways and Means, We are adding an additional $1 million to be used in concert with affordable housing production and buttressing the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. So I worked with CDA and others on forming this language that supports and memorializes that effort to make sure that $1 million of this newfound proceeds would in fact go in line with the spending of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. And this is the language that the CDA director and I came up with along with the board's counsel. So at the end of that section, following the words "not to exceed total appropriation of CDBG CV funds herein," we will insert CDA shall expend $1 million of the $10,040,586 of the CDBG CV funds in the area of affordable housing production to the extent U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development rules and regulations allow.
All right, perfect. Would you like to make a motion to adopt that amendment number 7 pursuant to the language you just read?
You would. Yes, Mr. President, I move that we adopt amendment number 7 pursuant to the language herein.
All right, it's been moved by Alderman from the 16th. Entertain a second on that motion. Seconded by Alderman from the 13th. Any further discussion? Alderman from the 6th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Alderman, can you just talk to me? I think we have touched base on this, but just, I think you were going to speak to some other people to make sure that the flexibility of funding and the commingling of local and federal funds was worked out programmatically so that we are in compliance with the guidelines. And then if you had considered whether or not replacing this federal money when local funding is supposed to be providing for that dollar amount, if that was something that you considered.
Yeah, so there's two things there. Maybe I'll take the latter part first, which is I think on a go forward basis, we shouldn't be looking, and I've spoken with many housing advocates between the last 2 weeks and today. We shouldn't be anticipating a swap of federal funds in place of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund local budgeted monies. I think we're not going to get, this is sort of an anomaly in terms of additional federal funds that come to us. So that's where I think the opportunity arose to say this is really a unique one-time opportunity. And I do want to be perfectly clear. I don't want to set a precedent of backfilling federal dollars, whether they're the normal CDBG monies we get with what is, the preservation of affordable housing and the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Alderwoman, to your point, that budget line item for years has tended to be where we take to fill other budget holes. And I think it's been a priority of this administration and probably many members of this committee to make sure that we have a robust Affordable Housing Trust Fund. So I do qualify this amendment with that this is a unique situation only so we can do both things here, both things being the preservation of affordable housing and of course, the preservation of a strong, robust reserves, which we critically need. And to your first question, is that I did speak with a couple of affordable housing developers with this regard, as well as those folks who deal with the programmatic activity on a day-to-day basis. And in this case, the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, while it certainly is more flexible in terms of its use, CDBG money carries a certain amount of flexibility too, and neither one should complicate things. I was told when home dollars are inserted in concert with Affordable Housing Trust Fund and projects, it does tend to get a little more complicated, and that's because there's just more compliance and more oversight with the directed uses of those funds. But a couple of prominent affordable housing developers, one being Habitat for Humanity, told me that this actually might even be a good thing in the sense that the Affordable Housing Trust Fund dollars are slow to get out too, trying to find themselves in the right housing productions or in the right programmatic activity. And we know we have, I think, until September 22 with the CDBG monies. It might be September 21, but I think it's 22.
All right. Alderwoman from the 6th.
Thank you. Appreciate your time, Alderman from the 16th.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion? It's been moved by the Alderman from the 16th, seconded by the Alderman from the 13th, that we adopt amendment number 7. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Do we have any additional amendments? Any additional discussion on this item?
I believe there should be before you amendment number 8, Mr. President.
All right. Please read amendment number 8.
Amendment number 8 is Board Bill 49 to amend beginning line Exhibit A, Program Services dash Food Delivery Elderly. Strike out the number 2 million and insert the number 2,756,527. So we'll be removing 2,000,000,000, inserting 2,756,527.
I'll entertain a motion on amendment number 8.
So moved.
Been moved by the Alderman from the 13th, and
Second.
seconded by the Alderman from the 27th. Any discussion on amendment number 8? Any discussion on amendment number 8? It's been moved by the Alderman from 13th, seconded by the Alderman from 27th, that we adopt amendment number 8. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Alderman from the 10th.
That concludes my presentation for today, sir.
All right, any further discussion on the amended board bill number 49 that's before us? Any further discussion?
Mr.
All right,
President, are we able to ask questions because we received this helpful document from the mayor's office that provided some more specificity to the allocation of funding, and I did have a quick few questions on that.
absolutely, absolutely. Please proceed, Alderwoman. This is for Mr. Conway. Mr.
I'm
Conway,
here. Yes. Can you hear me?
She's muted.
You're on mute.
I can hear you.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. So rapid rehousing is mentioned in a couple of different places in the allocation of funding, and I was wondering how you are determining prioritizing rapid rehousing versus expanded shelter beds.
It's a two-part process. So the rapid rehousing generally and historically works in tandem with the shelter beds. We would prefer not to have people in shelters, and we have to expand the capacity of rapid rehousing. So if you want to point me to one of those specific numbers, I can go over that particular program with you.
Sure. Well, it's mentioned under the Department of Health and or Department of Human Services as the first line item, rapid rehousing of existing homeless, and then right before the end of that same section, rapid rehousing and additional shelter bed expansion.
Right. So number one, we'll be working to move the people out of the shelters and do the case management with, in essence, hopefully right now that the limit on my homeless population, which would be awful optimistic, is going to stay where we're at. We know that our homeless population will start growing at the end of July. But this is the case management, the housing, the employment search, the things that we're currently doing now with our service providers. And the other area you had mentioned is, and if you look at number 11, this is what we're going to have to do longer term, and as people become homeless, we're preparing for.
I'm sorry.
Pardon me?
Number 11, where?
I assume you're looking. Oh, I thought you were looking at our little description sheet that we sent you.
It's not numbered. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have. I'll count.
Yeah, I happen to put numbers on mine.
I have 11 street outreach for homeless, but 9 is rapid rehousing. It's only mentioned one place in the description, but twice on the exhibit.
Right. So rapid rehousing, 3 from the bottom under the Department of Human Services.
right?
And that's 650,000.
Okay. Have you spoken to the United Way about whether $400,000 is sufficiently funding them to address the increase in need for assessments that they'll have coming in?
Excuse me. Valerie Russell has reached out to the groups. We know historically what we think we need to do to revamp that program. And the one thing is we do have some flexibility to add funds to these programs because we are, we'll be holding back $5 million just for a period of the next 3 or 4 weeks because we'll be coming in with the election board and a fire department one, and the federal government just gave us last week $4.3 million more in ESG grants. So we have to bring those bills to the Board of Aldermen, and hopefully we will have those ready to introduce next week. And it gives us the ability to add to these various programs as the picture becomes clearer as to what the greater and greater needs are going to be.
She's muted.
Alderwoman from the 6th, you're muted again.
Sorry about that. On eviction mediation, it indicates that all of the money will go to the Conflict Resolution Center. I'm not familiar that they've had experience mediating cases like this. I think it's important, but there's also no allocation of funding for legal advocacy or attorneys. And everybody that I've talked to who works on these eviction cases, including some folks who oversee these cases with the courts, think that's a very important piece of this that can't be left out.
We are working with the courts, and I have spoken with the judges, and that will be an opportunity if you look at and excuse me. So we have one category, and that's the housing locators, housing specialists, and then we have the eviction mediation. We would prefer to intervene with those. We will have the opportunity. I told you next week when we come in, if the judges, we're monitoring the cases that are in the court right now, but we have the ability, and if you look at number 8 that I gave you and in the explanation, the St. Louis Mediation Project to offer free mediation services in eviction cases, which will be conducted by or under the supervision of attorneys to ensure agreement will be accepted by the court. But if we need to hire more than that in the way of attorneys, we'll have that ability as we put to use the next $4.2 million in ESG funds.
Okay, last question is, have you tried to engage with any of the utilities? I appreciate the utility assistance being a line item, but just a conversation about them extending credits, payment negotiations, and things of that nature so that people are able to, everyone's able to take advantage of it and not just a small percentage of the people we know will be impacted.
I know that the mayor originally reached out to the utilities. I don't know what the current status of that is. And I don't know what their legal parameters are, but we will go back to them because we're going to let them know that the pool of funds are available so that we can help our residents pay their utilities. And hopefully this will be enough.
Thank you so much. I don't have any other questions.
Any further questions? Any further questions? Any further questions? All right, it's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 13th and seconded by the Alderwoman from the 27th that we adopt Board Bill number 49 as amended. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Davis,
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderwoman Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Gracia, Alderwoman Murphy, Alderman Coulter, Alderman Muhammad, Alderman Oldenburg,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd, Alderwoman Middlebrook, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
President Reed,
Aye.
Alderwoman Murphy.
You're gonna have to unmute and
Aye.
Alderman Coulter, Alderman Muhammad, Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook. 9 aye votes.
all right, vote, you sustain the motion on Alderwoman from the 13th and approved Board Bill 49 to go to the full board. We will dispense.
Thank you,
with-
Mr. President. Thank you, members of the committee.
You're welcome. We will dispense with line items 6 through 8. And I just want to tell everybody, thank you for getting all these things in order. I was a bit frustrated last time, you understand. I like to have these things decent and in order, and just not accustomed to seeing them, go the way they did that last time. So I appreciate all the work everybody put in to get all these amendments lined up so that they were ready to go today. So thank you to all for that. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Alderman from 6, seconded by
Second.
the Alderman from the 27th. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all. Have a great day.